Is it time for the Green Bay Packers to move on from Mike McCarthy? I discuss what is going on, y'all. Fast Sports Talk back at it with another video talking, of course, some NFL here to talk about the Green Bay Packers and their tumultuous season, which is quickly fading away, in which they obviously do not look like they will make the playoffs. They just lost to the Minnesota Vikings on Sunday Night Football and now dropped to 4-6-1. So here to talk about what, if anything, should the Packers do with their head coach, Mike McCarthy, now that it looks like the playoffs are a long shot. So here to discuss that and more. With that being said, let's get started. Now, could the Packers obviously run the table and still somehow squeak into the playoffs because they're mathematically not eliminated? Sure, absolutely. But do I think that's going to happen? Probably not. That's why I'm here to talk about the Packers and what they need to do right now, because having Aaron Rodgers, arguably the best quarterback in the NFL, you should never, ever miss the playoffs. Winning Super Bowls is another thing. It's very hard to do in the NFL, but missing the playoffs, you absolutely should not be missing playoffs when you have a guy like that at quarterback. And so obviously, the first guy people look at is the head coach. This happens a lot in the NBA. If a team is struggling, the coach is the first one to get fired. So obviously we want to look at Mike McCarthy, but I do not want to make Mike McCarthy a scapegoat here. Is he a good coach? Absolutely. Mike McCarthy has been in Green Bay since 2006, 12 seasons. He's got a head coaching record of 125-76, made the playoffs 9 out of 12 years, won Super Bowl. We know that. And the times he's missed the playoffs, Aaron Rodgers has gotten hurt. So he's been pretty consistent, and he's been a pretty good coach. But this season in particular, Mike McCarthy just seems to have taken a step back, and it's really been prominent to the point where, like I said, people are calling for his job. And is it warranted? Probably, because you know what? Schematically, this season, Aaron Rodgers, the numbers look good. Yeah, like 20 touchdowns to just 1 interception. But the yardage hasn't been great. You saw against the Vikings, less than 200 yards. And guys just aren't getting open. And here's the thing. I'm a Bears fan, so I have no, obviously, dog in this race. Obviously, I want the Packers to do what's right for the team. But if you look at Green Bay and you take a look at an offense like even Chicago or LA or Kansas City, all of these coaches that they have with, Matt Nagy, with a Sean McVay, with an Andy Reid. But even let's take a look at Sean McVay and Matt Nagy. These are offensive-minded guys who have been able to scheme open those players that they have. And yet, you absolutely need talent. But the Packers have talent at receiver. Devontae Adams, arguably a top 5 receiver. Marquez Valdes-Scantling, Equanimeous St. Brown's pretty good. Still got Geronimo Allison, who's pretty good. But Mike McCarthy is not scheming open those guys. Now, is Aaron Rodgers to blame here? Absolutely. Aaron Rodgers has missed throws. He missed a couple of easy throws today against the Vikings, which is very uncharacteristic of him. But answer me this. What's easier to replace, Mike McCarthy or Aaron Rodgers? There's your answer. So, yes, Aaron Rodgers is to blame, and I'm not saying he has zero to blame here. But Mike McCarthy, as a coach, should be doing a better job of scheming open guys. And I'm not sure, again, if this is, Aaron Rodgers calling the plays and changing them at the line. But it really seems like it's an internal struggle with Rodgers and McCarthy. And maybe the relationship isn't the best. And that's another reason for why maybe you need a change of scenery. Whatever the case may be, I am just saying the Packers have too much talent, especially on the offensive side of the football, for Aaron Rodgers to be putting up the numbers he's been putting up and for them to have the record that they have. They should absolutely be in the playoffs. They should at least be in the playoff contention, really, if you will. And they should be better than what we have been seeing them. Mike McCarthy has repeatedly this season made questionable decisions, punted on 4th and 2nd, not challenging catches, and etc. So we need to hold Mike McCarthy accountable, and the Packers need to see with situations like in Cleveland, getting rid of Hugh Brown, getting rid of certain guys might be the best thing that ever happens. Aaron Rodgers needs a guy who is an offensive guru, and maybe McCarthy is just not that guy. So I think, you know what, Mike McCarthy might have just ran out of his time in Green Bay, and they just need a new voice in that locker room. Aaron Rodgers just needs a new voice, because you know what? If the Packers miss the playoffs, why would you want to run this back again next season? What's really going to change? So to me, I think Mike McCarthy needs to go. I think they need to get an offensive guru like a Sean McVay, like a Matt Nagy in Green Bay, to help Aaron Rodgers, to help scheme guys open, and to just make life a little easier in Green Bay. That's just me. Let me know what you guys think. Leave a comment down below if you agree with me or disagree with me. As always, thanks for watching.